We're going to work on a calf stretch today. You could use a folded or rolled up blanket or beach towel. You could use a yoga block that's not real thick, 2 inches or less. You could use a phone book or a thick book. I'm going to actually demonstrate this using what's called a half roller. It's one of those foam rollers that's literally been cut in half. And I'm using that just because it's easier to see what I'm doing on it. So when you go to do the calf stretch, we're doing 1 foot at a time. You're going to put the ball of your foot up on whatever you're using, and you want to try and get your feet parallel, outside edges of the feet lined up, just like when we practice the stance. And then you want to get weight in your heels. Now, when I stand like this, there's a little bit of stretch in my calf. For some of you, this will be intense, and you might have to take this free hanging foot back a little bit while you work on it. If that's intense, I would go to something slightly lower to put the ball of your foot up on, maybe 1/2 inch thick or 1 inch thick. If you're working here and it's fairly comfortable, you could step this foot further forward. This whole time I want weight to be more in the heel of the foot that I'm stretching, and I want to try and keep my body centered between my feet so I don't sink into my hip. I know it's hard to see that from this video, but so I want to hold this, and I want to hold this for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. We take the other side. So again, we're doing 1 foot at a time, outside edges of the feet parallel. If working with your feet side by side doesn't give you much stretch in the calf, you can step that foot a little forward or even a lot forward. You still want to have the majority of your weight in this heel of the leg you're stretching. And you want to try and keep your body centered between your feet. There's another version of this calf stretch. So this is being done with a straight leg. I know you can't see that. There's another version of this stretch in which I would take the exact same positioning, right? So I've got my feet parallel, 1 foot up, but then once I'm here, I'm going to bend the knee slightly. You don't have to bend it much, and it gets into a different part of the calf, the soleus muscle. So I also tend to feel this in my Achilles quite intensely. So that's a variation on it. You work with a straight leg for a while, and then you can work with a slight bend. You won't be able to bend it much, but it's just a slight bend in the knee versus a straight leg. All right, play with calf stretching. It's something we could all use a lot more of.